What it do, people? Hey, look, this ain't just hype. This is Houston Rockets Red Alert. Unfiltered, uncut, and it's time to sound no alarm. We are going to launch immediately after this.
Red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
So what's up, people? What's up? Look, y'all know who it is, man. It's your boy EF, man. And we bringing it hot to death on these streets, man. We keeping it out here. We're keeping it live for you. We're gonna roll it in. We're gonna jump it off right immediately. We don't even have to get into a lot today, but we did want to bring you all some of the latest news that we have. Look, basically what we're looking at right now, we're looking at an insane run by, an unknown GM. Let's face it. Let's look at it. You know, let's look at it at face value. What we have is a GM that is basically new. A new GM. Raphael's first GM, head GM job was here with this team, Houston Rockets. Obviously, he was working alongside Daryl Moore, and he learned some stuff from Daryl Moore. But what we are seeing, I think, is like this is. I mean, I'm at a loss for words for what we're seeing. We're seeing an insane, um, just an insane display of determination and just brass, for lack of better words. Why do I say that? Because every time we do something, the immediate news after that acquisition is the Rockets can't do nothing else. This is it. They've done all they can do. And just as soon as I kick my shoes off and I say, well, you know what? Let me start preparing for, you know, let me start getting ready for the desert season. Let me start getting ready for the desert season. It ain't gonna be nothing jumping off. It's just gonna be, you know, what we do. What we do as content creators and Houston Rockets fans. It's gonna be the talks. It's gonna be the debates. Who's gonna do what this year? What do we expect this year? I think this gonna happen. Who thinks this gonna happen? This, that, and the third. Um, and here's what's really going on. The minute you say that about Rafael Stone, he's gonna make you out of a complete liar. He's going to make you out of a complete liar. Which is one of the reasons why after the Josh Okogie, I didn't come on and say, well, that's it. There's nothing else can happen. Because I'm kind of watching Rafael Stone, with a different kind of through a different kind of lens. I'm actually looking at Rafael Stone and I'm saying, I'm you don't know what the guy's gonna do. I was under the impression that Rafael Stone was gonna run this camp a lot like Daryl Moore. He has done the exact opposite. He hasn't treated players solely like assets. He has shown players, we're going to be considerate of you coming and going. You come in, we're going to be considerate of you. When we ship you out, if we have to get rid of you, we're going to be considerate of you. He has built this team like a world beater. We are going to make a team that is solely consistent of our core beliefs. Don't care nothing about what the league is doing. Don't care nothing about what the league is doing. We're gonna get some players who can do the things I like, and then we're gonna do the thing that can't nobody deal with. And that's build a defense that can't nobody contend with. We're gonna go out and get every single possible defensive, you know, just deconstructor, that we can possibly find. And we're just gonna form like Voltron on defense. And he hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped. Um Now I'll be honest with you. I'll be 110% honest with you. I don't know who these guys really are, but I do know he just signed two more players to two-way contracts. That's not a major thing. It's not a major thing. But when, you know, everybody's saying, well, we need point guard play, who's going to be the point guard? What is going to be the point guard situation? What's going to be the point guard situation? And you think that you have figured out that you know something that this guy don't know. Rafael Stone goes out and he signs J.D. Davison on a two-way contract. Not a big guard, but a athletic, speedy guard that can really, turn up the tempo and can get above the rim. Plays with a lot of boing, with a lot of bounce, and he's not scared to, not scared to fly on you, not scared to fly on you. So we're just looking at it and saying, you know, it was good to see another move be made when it seems like there were no more moves to make. When it seemed like it was over, like it was, you're getting ready to go to sleep, you put your head on your pillow, and then boom, 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 somebody come knock on your door. Or you're getting ready to go to sleep, you put your head on your pillow, and right when you cut the TV off, your phone rings. It's one of those kind of things. It's like you cannot sleep on Rafael Stone at any given point. This guy is totally insane. So let's look at who J.D. Davison is. Like I said before, I don't know much about him. I'm kind of going through this experience right with you all, and we're going to we're gonna do this together. Now, what I do know is J.D. Davison is one of those guys that the Boston Celtics fan base, kind of looks at like we looked at Tata Washington. You understand what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that you know the 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 core of Boston Celtics fans felt like he could make a splash, that he could be something. They wanted to see what he would develop into, and you know they are not really happy to see him go, but glad that he would at least get a chance, maybe to be able to maybe sneak some minutes and steal some minutes here with a contender that we have built in the Bighorn. So, um, anytime somebody come down to the dome, anytime somebody come down to the dome, you know, it's always a possibility that you could get some burn because we're not scared to play, to give these guys minutes when we need to give guys minutes, or scared to throw guys out there when we up or when we need, garbage time minutes. We'll let you go out there and see what you can do. Not that that's going to earn you a right to play, but if you that boy, you can get some time. Now he was the G League MVP, if I'm correct. He was a G League MVP, so he does have a lot of upside. And drafted in 20 to 22 season, played 12 games. 23, he played 8 games. 2024, he played 16 games. Didn't average anything over 2 points. Any no one assist. He did shoot 42.9% from three in 2023. So he has shown the ability to shoot the ball. Um, Even though those other 2 years he shot well below 30%. So, um, just kind of glancing over some of his games, he had a 9-point game against Charlotte Hornets, which doesn't say much, but you know, not really nothing to write home about here as far as looking at his recent games and career stats. Um, but I mean, 6'1", 185 or whatever he is, he doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like he's going to be a bad player. And if he, you know, if he continues to work out and work hard, who's to say what he can be? At least he'll be on that G League team down in Rio Grande Valley with the Vipers, putting in work, and we know that those guys are always building a good team down in Rio Grande, and the Rio Grande Valley Vipers are always a competitive team. You know, so as far as that goes, if you say, you go, where would you want to be as a player on a competitive team like Rio Grande, where you have a chance to come up and maybe, get some burn on the Rockets, or would you rather be out in Boston with Rancho Cucamonga, um, Boston team? So that's JD Davis, which I really didn't, you know, pull up on y'all tonight to talk to y'all about JD Davis. You know, not not no shade, not throwing no shade on JD Davison, but that's not really why I pulled up. I really pulled up on y'all just to just to tap in, man, just to tap in and see um how y'all felt about Rafael Stone still making moves is really. And this is just another example of that. This is just another example of Rafael Stone, you know, um throwing gum at the wall like nonstop. It's something it, you if you think for 1 minute that this guy is not really saying to Ime, I'm gonna do everything I can to show you that we're committed to winning. And you have to think about this. His boss is Tillman Fertitta. And Tillman Fertitta wants to win. And he wants to know that you want to win, that you're not just sitting there and you don't know what you're doing. So if I'm Tillman Fertitta and I'm sitting back and I'm watching Rafael Stone, pull rabbits out of hats, rabbits out of hats, rabbits out of hats. When contract time comes up, the guy's probably gonna get paid. And I think it has a lot to do with what he's doing here. I think ultimately Rafael Stone is showing Fertitta that, hey, look, I can get the job done. I can do this as good as anybody, and I won't stop until we win. And I mean, if my boss sees me doing this type of work, then I feel confident that I can bank that I'm going to get that raise. I'm going to get that next contract. So Rafael Stone is, it's a display. This is what you call a master class display. I mean, I've heard podcast after podcast after podcast says the Rockets can't make any more moves, and Rafael Stone continues to make them put their foot in their mouth. Sooner or later, the Rockets are not going to be able to make any more moves. And even if there were no more moves to make, I still wouldn't say it. I still wouldn't come out of my mouth and say Rafael Stone can't make no more moves. I wouldn't do it. I would be scared. At this point, I would be terrified to say what Rafael Stone can do. Period. Period. So, what else do we have? What else do we have? Do you like? Do you if you know who J.D. Davison is? If you know anything about it from Alabama or from the G League, if you know anything about J.D. Davis and you want to, you know, drop in the comments whether you think he's a good player, whether you think he'll get any burn on the team this year. If you think J.D. Davidson will get any kind of time, drop it in the comments. If you think he could maybe compete with Reed Shepard or compete with what's the other little Christensen, if you think he is it's a competition at that fourth point guard position, and that J.D. Davidson might you know, can compete with some of those guys. Let me know. I don't really know too much about him, but anybody who knows anything about the guy, feel free to let me know. Let me know because I don't know. Um, Here's another one. Isaiah Crawford also signed a two-way deal, and again, it's just Rafael Stone continuing to focus on depth and making sure that we have guys. We got guys. We got bodies. We got wings. We got now we got some guard play, and like I said, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where if we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down fighting. We're not gonna go down resting on our laurels here in Houston. We're gonna let you know that at the end of the day, we coming. We on your head top. Pause. We are definitely trying to make it known that you know if we don't get a championship this year, it's not for a lack of trying. It's not for a lack of making moves. It's not for doing every possible thing that we possibly can do to get the championship. It's going to be because of injuries. It's going to be because of bogus referee play or something like that, or the other team is just better than us. Which I don't think Oklahoma City is just better than us right now. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I don't think Oklahoma City is better than our team right now. I don't think Shea Gilgis Alexander is more reliable than Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant is healthy. I don't think J Dub is more valuable than Albert Shangon. I don't even care about Chet Holmgren versus impact versus Amin Thompson's impact. So when you pair them up, you match them up. I don't think Oklahoma City is just better than our team right now. I think it's it's a it's pretty even from that standpoint. I think it's a pretty even battle, up and down. Hold on, let's see who we got. Let's see what we got. What up, Bug Mo? What up, Bug Mo? Bug Mo came in hot immediately trying to get rid of Reed Shepard. Bug Mo got no love for your boy Reed Shepard. Bug man, what you got against old Shep, man? Reed Shepard, man. Do you like JD Davidson? Do you know anything about him? Is he that boy or is he just I mean because he got waived from somebody waved him and then I mean I guess Boston waved him. So if Boston waved him, Reed ain't got waived though. Reed Shepard ain't got waived. Reed Shepard was excluded from the Kevin Durant trade, showing he had some kind of value. But when you get waived from Boston Celtics, when they clearly could have used you as a you know, just put you on the floor and let you do what you can do, as a tank project. You know what I mean? Like they could have like in this situation when your star is out, this is a rebuild situation for Boston where they could have played anybody and just let them guys go out there and ball and see what happens. But I think they might try to make a push and try to get in a position so when Tatum get back, they can try to make another run at it before they have to break up the team. But let me know, Buckmore. Do you know anything about him? Do you think this guy is good at all? Isaiah Crawford, J.D. Davison. I don't know if any of these guys. I definitely don't think he's gonna take a Reed Shepard minutes. But you think it's a competition? If you think it's a competition, then hey, more power to you. I doubt it. What make you think Ime don't like Reed, bro? What make you think Ime don't like Reed? I don't. I don't know. I don't know. You gotta let me know why you think Ime don't like Reed. Cause I haven't seen this. Let me see if I can pull up anything that might well. I mean, it's gonna be hard to find anything that would suggest that Ime don't like Reed Shepard. Um, could I imagine that he would rather have a different kind of backup point guard? Yeah, I could. You know, if because if I'm Ime Udoka, you know, I would rather have a actual athletic, um, defensive minded point guard. You know, even if he can't shoot, if he can run the offense and he's athletic and he's fast and he can, he can really lock up on defense. I might would like that instead of a Reed Shepard who's supposed to be able to shoot, but can't really create space. You know, like like people don't know this, but some people do. But Rajon Rondo is one of my all time favorite point guards. Like for me, if if you gave me, you said, hey, I'm gonna start a team, and there's no Curry, there's no Magic, no Isaiah Thomas, and it just came down to like Chris Paul, D Rose, Rondo, those kind of players. I'll take Rondo over Chris Paul and D Rose. You know, I mean, I like Jason Kidd too, but it's hard for me not to pick Rondo, over a lot of players. You know what I mean? Darren Williams. I mean, I'm taking Rondo over most of those guys, and I think that Reed Shepard might would feel the same with that kind of player. Like, give me what up, Global? Hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You popped us on in the back door. In the back door, his catch and shoot game is nice. Reed talking about Reed Shepard or JD Davidson. Talk about Reed Shepard or JD Davidson. Let me know. Um, yeah, I mean, so I would like a Rondo type player. You know what I mean? More so than a Reed Shepard type player. But Rajon Rondos don't come. They don't come. They don't grow on trees, bro. Rajon Rondos don't grow on trees. Hey, definitely, man. Definitely. I definitely think, yeah, JD Davidson is a point guard, 6'1". JD Davidson is 6'1" point guard, 6'1", 185 or 6'1", yeah, 6'1", 185 or something like that. I lost his little player card up here, but it's something like that, 6'1", 185. But I mean, you know, here's my thing about the whole JD Davidson thing. You think you think that Ime. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I, I really don't know nothing about Isaiah Crawford. I just actually I found out they signed him while I was setting up the stream right now. Like right while I was setting up the stream, it's just as I'm going through my notes and stuff like that, it pops up and I'm like, okay, well let me go ahead and add this to the stream and then I'll go ahead and look at it while I'm looking. But here's my thing. If you think Ime don't like Reed Shepard because he's too young, what makes you think he rather have JD Davidson over Reed Shepard when JD Davidson only been in the league 3 years and he got waived by his own team? Like, how would you say that Ime would rather have JD Davidson playing rather than rather than Reed when they both young bucks, both of them young bucks, and Reed is probably a little bit smarter and probably plays a lot better defense than JD Davidson. Let me see who this Crawford dude, Isaiah Crawford guy is. Let me see. Okay. Isaiah Crawford is man, what is this? Hey now look, unrestricted free agent. Isaiah Crawford signed a two-way deal with the Houston Rockets. Let's see. We can get some good stats on him over here. Let me see if I can find some good stats on him. 6'6" forward, a 6'6" forward. That's a small forward. Louisiana Tech. Now, it nothing. He basically averages nothing. Um, like if you say like, what does he average? I would say nothing. Let me see if I can find some. If I can find this 3 point percentage. Let me see if I can find this 3 point percentage over here. 3 point percentage. Okay, regular season 20% right there. This one here say 2025. Uh, yeah, about 20% from three. But he didn't really shoot that many, so nothing, 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 nothing. Zero, 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 zero. This guy averages zero, zero, zeros across the board. Right, right. No, look, it's all this is depth move, 100% global, 100%. They, that's what I'm saying. That's my point, man. Rafael Stone is going crazy out here. Like you talk about going crazy. This is like Call of Duty 3K mode. You know what I mean? He busting shots everywhere. He is not tripping on none of that. I was just saying that this dude got on and he just went like, "Oh yeah, we don't got no more money. Okay, let me go sign two more players." You know what I mean? Oh yeah, we can't make no more moves. Let me go make two more moves. You know what I mean? Every single time you think it's the end of what he's gonna do, you think it's no more news, and Rafael Stone is doing something different. I used to be one of the biggest Rafael Stone skeptics, just because he came from under Daryl Moore, and I was like, I'm super skeptical. I'm super skeptical because while Daryl Moore was known for making moves and just making crazy moves and making crazy moves and constructing these weird like transactions with move eight people, sign eight people, then move them and then fire wave two, and like the crazy moves that Daryl Moore used to do. I always had this thing like, yeah, but he keep getting the smallest guy at every position, and I can't live like that. I can't live thinking that my GM is going to sign the shortest guy at the position that he can find. It just don't make sense to me. And so when we got Rafael Stone, I was like, I still got PTSD from Daryl Morris, so I never really trusted him. And then we, made the draft picks. I was more of Evan Mobley over Jalen Green. So when we didn't get Evan Mobley, I was like, okay, he picked Jalen Green. Okay, let's go with it and see how it go. And then I was like, okay, I would take Paolo over Chet and Jabari. I would have took that, but then obviously Orlando did the sneaky shit, and then we ended up with Jabari. Okay, I'm cool with Jabari. That really wasn't none of, but I was glad. I look at the Tari Eason and Apple Shangoon moves as pluses. So it's like, okay, he made good moves, but I can't really see what he's doing in FaceTime. Like in face, you know, in value, speed time, and real time, I can't see what he's doing. And then like this season came. Well, let me backtrack. Going into the year where we got Fred and Dylan, I was on the record, and I'm pretty sure you remember this. I was on the record as saying, just give me Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. To me, they're the best two players that we can go out there and get. And then people's like, well, we can get Malcolm Brogdon. And I'm like, yeah, Malcolm Brogdon. Come on, bro. Get out of here with the Malcolm Brogdon business. Oh, yeah, we can get Malcolm Brogdon and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, look, man, you know, Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet would be perfect. And I was saying this in March, like before the season was even over. And he turned around and got him. At the same time, I was saying that we could have brought in Mark Jackson, Sam Cassell, Ime Udoka. I had a list of coaches that I would have liked for them to see. And he goes out and get Ime Udoka, another great move. So what I'm saying is, as I'm watching it, I'm having this like back and forth, like, man, I see him doing stuff that I really like, but I can't really tell, is it just that's because it's the best thing to do, or is he just putting together a master plan? Is he really good, or is he just making the obvious decision? You know what I mean? Is this just he's doing it because it's obvious? Because obviously, if you look at the Jalen Green and Evan Mobley thing, you would say, well, Jalen just kind of fell to him. he didn't make a great decision right there. He just picked the guy that was on the list to be the best one. Because I would have took Evan Mobley, 3 times a week. You know what I mean? But 7 days a week and twice on Sunday, as they say. You know what I mean? But he took Jalen. Okay, boom. Now fast forward. We get here, Kevin Durant. It just falls to him. That's not like a monumental decision on him to make. And then all the good shit come in. Then you see, oh, well, when we had Jerry Springer that we got from Boston and he waived him. I wanted to keep Jerry Springer because he's a defensive interrupter. I wanted to keep him, but we waived him. Why did we waive him? To clear up money. We cleared up extra money. That money that he cleared up helps us make moves now. And then he goes into the Steven Adams. Boom, boom. We re-sign Steven Adams. Get Fred Van Vliet back at half the price. Boom. Dorian Finney-Smith. Bam. Bang. Over here. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like it still keep going, keep going, keep going. And now I'm looking at it and I'm saying, the dude just might be bonkers. The dude just might be bonkers. I might just have to tip my hat to Rafael Stone and say this dude is legit. The dude is showing that he is legit. And not only just making moves for depth, but making moves that fit a culture. He's building a culture, and that culture is predicated around hard nosed, smash mouth basketball. Like literally, this guy is thinking smash mouth basketball. We're gonna pound the ball, we gonna play tough defense. We're gonna get down here and we're gonna be very efficient. Very efficient. Our offense is based around efficiency now. It's not just based around speed and getting up and down and getting to the rim and things like that. Now we got a guy that's efficient. We got Alper Shangoon that's going to play around the rim. That's going to be more efficient. We got Ahmed Thompson who plays above the rim, who plays right at the rim. And like we say, we do need 3-point shooters. But if you got guys who are efficient around the rim and from mid range, you know, 3-point shooters are not it's not the end all be all of the world. It's not the end all be all of the world. Right, exactly. Exactly. They signed Dorian Finney Smith, traded Cam, and you know, for those of us like let me tell you as a a Rockets fan that's been kind of watching this whole thing, the last thing I thought, the last thing I thought was that Cam and Jalen both would be gone within a matter of weeks. If you would have told anybody, if you would have told anybody in Rockets Nation that Cam and Jalen would both be gone in the middle in a matter of weeks, I mean, you'd have pulled your hair out. You'd have pulled your hair out trying to figure out what the hell are they doing? Why would they get rid of Jalen and Cam in a matter of a couple of weeks? Right? Look, even they looking for defensive players, Reed doesn't fit. All their signings have been 3-and-D players. I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that in a sense. Um, but Reed is a 3-and-D player though. That's the thing. That's the thing. The thing is, here's what me and you, Buckmo. Here's what me and you are a little different. I think Reed Shepard is a 3-and-D player. It's just that is all he is. I don't think he's a legit point guard. I think he's a 3-and-D point guard. He's a he's a defensive, play maker. You know, kind of a disruptive playmaker. You know, hands on loose balls, pause, and you know, block shots and a couple of steals in the passing lane and things like that, and being able to hit the three when you kick the ball out to him. You know, that's about it. Hey, Global, if you wanted to come up, the link in the thing, you're always welcome to pop up. Buck Mode, same for you. Anybody who want to pop up here and chop it up with me, y'all more than welcome to pop up. Um, pull up on your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do. So but I think Reed Shepard is a 3-and-D as of right now. As of right now, if you look at the way he plays, He's a 3-and-D guard. He's a 3-and-D point guard. A, a lot like Fred Van Vliet to an extent, but Fred Van Vliet is a more consistent table setter than Reed Shepard. Um, just because of his strength. Just because of his strength. I think when Reed gets stronger and um and if the refs call a couple of more fouls for him, if the refs make it a little more harder for people to just foul him and bully him, Reed is going to be a efficient player. He's going to be he's going to be a more valuable player, and he's going to open up things for the team. I do think, like if you look at the way the offense is structured, if like if you have Reed Shepard on the floor, what is his role? You see what I'm saying? It's not really to run the offense. His role is to get the ball. If 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 they pressuring Reed, if they pressuring him, then he can get the ball up the court. If they don't pressure him, he walk the ball up the court. He you know get the ball to Alperen Sengun or Kevin Durant, and he becomes a 3-point shooter. Then on defense, they can't pick on him unless because here's the thing about Reed Shepard. You can't pick on him as far as I'm just gonna switch on to him and just cook him. You're not just gonna switch on to him and cook him because he's gonna pester you. He's gonna be in your jersey. He's gonna get in your pockets, you know. And if you try to just pick on him, you're gonna end up turning the ball over. You might get some buckets, but he's gonna get you for at least 2 turnovers a game. And that's the thing is that he's gonna force at least 2 turnovers if you continuously try to pick on him. Will you get some blow bys? Yes, but that's not the point. It's can he funnel you the right direction? Can he get you going the way that is gonna lead you into the teeth of the defense? Right? Because nobody really can stop nobody. It's are you operating in the team in the team construct as far as defensively? You know? Let's see. Let's see. Reed can hoop. He may just don't know how to use him. True, true. Tell me what y'all think about that. Tell me what you think about that, Global. Tell me what you think about that. Does Ime know how to use Reed Shepard? Or does he even have is it even, you know, is that even something that he needs to consider? Does he even need to consider using Reed Shepard the right way, or does Reed Shepard just need to find a way to fit in and get in where you fit in, or get out the way. Is that what we're looking at with Reed Shepard? Is it a, like get in where you fit in or get out the way, or is it kind of going to be contingent upon how Ime uses him? Is Ime going to be responsible for drawing up things that can get Reed that can make Reed's value an asset to the team? You know, is it the coach's responsibility if you have a like it's like this. If you have a, you know, if you have a fast car and you on a dirt road, you're not putting that car in the best possible scenario to where you can use the speed the most. By the same token, if you have you know, a a shotgun, you know, but you in the woods, you kind of setting yourself up to not be able to get the most out of that shotgun because that shotgun gonna spread. You're gonna be hitting trees and everything. So the point I'm making is Ime putting himself in the best situation, and I don't just mean like buckshots or whatever like that. I'm just saying that is in a way, is it a way that Ime could put Reed Shepard in the best possible scenario to make him better, to make him more valuable, or make his value stand out? You know, I think I think it is one of those things to where if Ime was looking at it from a different aspect, he might be saying, "Hey, we need Reed Shepard to score 12 points a game. When Reed Shepard comes in the game, I need him to be. I need these plays to run. when Reed Shepard gets in the game. I need these plays to run at such and such a time. 7 minutes pass by, Reed Shepard coming in the game, Fred VanVleet going out, and we need these plays to run. At 7 minutes, we running these plays. You know what I mean? We running this flex, we running this high triangle, and we gonna get Reed on the baseline and a pop out, or we running a little dribble handoff with Reed Shepard, or a little pick and roll, high pick and roll with Reed Shepard, and getting Reed Shepard into some action to where we can get him free, where we can get Reed Shepard free because we want him to score 12 points. When Stone says Reed Shepard has to be very good for us, period. That I think that kind of calls out Ime. It kind of calls out Ime and says Ime Reed Shepard has to be very good for us. And as the manager, as the coach, you have to make him very good for us because he's on the team and we need him to score. We need him to be valuable at this point, and it's up to you to make him valuable as a coach. So I think you make a good point, Buck. I think that's a very good assessment. You know, um, hmm, but see, here's the thing. Now, this for real. Now, this for real. I haven't seen Ime show no offensive genius. I haven't seen it, but I honestly believe he does have an offensive mind. I just believe that he's a little too stubborn to try new shit. I believe that Ime is at the point to where he's, um, the movie Remember the Titans, where Coach Boone, classic line, veer right, veer left, right hand don't get to the left one wheel, 6 plays split like Novocaine. That's Ime. That's Ime. We're gonna run these same 6 plays. We're gonna run these same 6 plays. One of these plays is gonna bust you upside your head. And I think that's how Ime views basketball at this point. Like we're gonna run these, we're gonna run these plays. Boom, 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 boom. You know, tap, 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 tap. Eventually the glass gonna break. We don't have to we don't have to have a home run play. We just gotta mix up these ones that you can't stop that's gonna keep you off rhythm, that's gonna keep you off balance till we catch you off balance, and then we're gonna run up 5 or 6 possessions on you. And I think that's how Ime looks at it. I think Ime looks at it as, you know, I can do some different stuff. I can do some Steve Kerr. I can do some Steve Nash. I can do some Mike D'Antoni. You know, because if you're a defensive minded coach, you know what the offensive guys do. So with Ime knowing playing against Mike D'Antoni offenses, being being a defender against those teams and the Don Nelsons and things like that, being a go-to defender, being a go-to, being a elite defender against those teams, he would know what it is that these guys are doing. So I think he has an offensive mind. He just believes that 6 plays split like Novocaine. Veer right, veer left. If the right hand don't get to the left one will. I think that's ultimately how he looks at it. You know, he couldn't run a play to get Jalen Green open. But could he not? Could he not? Do you think it was him not getting Jalen Green open, or do you just think that Jalen just I don't know. I mean, Jalen couldn't do nothing to get himself open because it was time for first of all, if Jalen has the ball in his hand and then they run at him and blitz him, it's Jalen that's supposed to get somebody open. Jalen is supposed to move this ball in a way to get somebody open. You know? I can't put that on email when Jalen got the ball in his hand because you supposed to be able to do something to make something happen. If they double team you, if you don't make a move before the trap gets there, it's the same thing I said about Reed Shepard earlier when I seen him in the summer league. You're supposed to see when the blitz is coming. You're supposed to see when the double team is coming, and you're supposed to make that move as the gravity starts to close in, as the player starts to close in, right when he's out of position to get to where you need to pass the ball to. That's when you're supposed to zip that pass to that man who's open, if that's what they're doing to you. Or make as soon as you get the ball, make your move get downhill and make them chase you to the rim every play. And so a lot of that is on Jalen. You know, they blitzing him at half court, and then obviously, Jalen is getting the ball at half court. That's on Ime because Ime is saying, hey, we're gonna let Jalen get the ball at half court. We know they're gonna blitz him. And that's where I get to the conspiracy theory, that's where the conspiracy theory come out in me. Because I get to thinking like this. Did Ime hang Jalen out to dry? Did Ime hang Jalen out to dry? Did Ime Udoka hang Jalen Green out for the birds? I think he did. You know, if you really look at it and think about it, if you really look at it and think about it, and Jalen comes out and he doesn't play well, and Jalen comes out and he's not playing well, and Ime gets to looking like, man, this dude is finna not play well, and I am going to let him sink or swim on his own because we need to get Kevin Durant anyway. And I'd rather have Fred Van Vliet than Jalen Green because ultimately what it ultimately was going to come down to is Fred Van Vliet and Jabari or Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. And I think Ime is looking at it and saying, I'm just gonna hang. I'm gonna let him sink or swim. I'm gonna let him sink or swim. And Rafael Stone can do what he gotta do. Rafael Stone can make the decision based on we in the playoff. This is supposed to be your guy. This is the guy that you got to score buckets. I'm finna let him sink or swim. Can he score buckets? Can he score buckets? If he can't score buckets, get me somebody who can. Boom. Let's go. Because I did see it. I came out and I said this. It was in the game where Fred was getting buckets and Fred was going off to where Jalen was in the corner. When have you ever seen Jalen in the corner? Catching the ball in the corner and making drives to the rim from out of the corner. We never seen that. We haven't ever seen never saw that since since Steven Silas days, where Jalen Green was catching the ball in the corner and making plays out of the corner or cutting to the basket out of the corner. We never saw that. So it was the first time me seeing Ime do anything that closely resembled something creative. And it worked. It worked. They got Jalen going, and that was the game that Jalen got going. That was the game that Jalen got going and scored them however many points he scored that game. And it was based off of Ime was putting him in different spots, which you could have knew the first game that they was gonna blitz him and then start putting him in different spots immediately that game. It didn't take you, 3 games to figure out that this is what they were doing, put him somewhere where they can't do it, you know. So I have seen Ime do things that shows me that he can dial it up. But how long is it gonna take him to make that adjustment? How long is it gonna be before he decides, um, hey, I'm gonna make an adjustment, I'm gonna do something different. Yeah, so you know, I think it had something to do with Ime kind of letting Jalen go for what he know, for a lack of better words. And I think it has something to do with Jalen just not being able to get booked. He just didn't get booked like he should have. Pun intended. Um, he may got out coached by Steve Curry. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. He may got out coached by Steve Kerr. But do you think it's anything that he could have done to not get out coached by Steve Kerr? Do you think it's anything that he could have done differently that would have made? I mean, it's first of all, it's Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr might very well be, you know, Steve Kerr might very well be one of the best coaches, top 3 or 4 coaches of all time. And we say that so much about so many people. But, you know, who you got? Phil Jackson, Lenny Wilkins, Greg Popovich, you know, um, Red Auerbach, you know, Steve Kerr up in there somewhere. Steve Kerr up in there somewhere. Definitely. I mean, he could have played Cam. He could have played Cam. I mean, that's 100%. That's 100%. And you know, what's bad? I think when they traded Jalen, I think they should have traded Jalen and Cam together because I think that would have been, you know, Jalen, Cam, and Devin Booker would have been a nice little squad. That would have been a nice little run. But they got Dylan Brooks though, so can't just rebuild the whole team. But I would have liked Jalen to see Jalen and Cam on the same team, but because Dylan Brooks ain't gonna be there long. Dylan Brooks ain't gonna be there long. Dylan Brooks is just there long enough to help them to build the culture. And Dylan Brooks is gonna be on a championship team. Ime Udoka unwillingness to adjust is the problem. 100%. We saw that when he was with Boston. We saw that when he was with Boston. We saw the exact same thing when he was in Beantown, and that's why they didn't win the championship that year because he was unwilling to adjust. And Steve Kerr outcoached him. Steve Kerr did the exact same thing to him that he did this year. Hey, we just gonna trap that main guy. We just gonna trap that main guy and run back to the center. We just gonna trap that main guy and then run back towards the middle of the court because that's where the ball going. Yeah, blitz Jason Tatum, and then we're gonna run back to Al Horford full speed. And all Al Horford gonna do is kick the ball out to the 3-point line and try to hit a three. Listen, this Steve Kerr, Ime Udoka, um, did they play on the same team together? I wonder about that. Did Steve Kerr and Ime play on the same team? Were they both on their San Antonio team? They both played for San Antonio. But did they play at the same time? Hmm. Did this Steve Kerr and Ime rivalry is kind of good. I'm not gonna hold you. Yeah, they did. They did. Steve Kerr, Ime played. Yeah, Steve Kerr played. They both played in 2001 on the Spurs, and Ime was waived early, but their time did overlap in San Antonio. So that's kind of you know, ironic, I guess, that they have this battle going on between the two of them, where Steve Kerr keeps getting the better of him, and they both play for the same team. They both from the pop tree. They both come from that same, Greg Popovich mindset. Um, but Steve Kerr got a little Rick Adelman twist in his. Steve Kerr got a little bit of that Rick Adelman twist. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, not Rick Adelman, Mike D'Antoni. I say Rick Adelman. Rick Adelman was Sacramento. Mike D'Antoni was in Phoenix. But, you know, Steve Kerr got a little bit of that Mike D'Antoni offensive, movement and then spacing, a lot of stuff along the baseline, popping out to the free throw line and stuff like that. Where you get your point guard going one direction, then he can bring it back across. Right, right. I mean, yeah. See, Mike D'Antoni ran a triangle, and Rick Adelman ran a triangle. A lot of teams run a triangle. A lot of teams run a version of the triangle, but it's not the same high post one, or it'd be off to the side, or off to this side. Strong side, left side, right side, high, low. A lot of teams run a version of the triangle. Some run a triangle at the 3-point line. Some people run a triangle at the 3-point line. It's just that you know, a lot of people don't even really know. They just say triangle. Phil Jackson, they got to be right here on this side of the court. They got to be this exact. No, that's not how it works, buddy. You can run a triangle at the 3-point line. You can run a triangle in the middle of the court. You can run a triangle on the weak side. You know, you can run triangle running off on the weak side, and then the ball rotates to the triangle, and then the play runs on that side, and then it's backdoor cut on the other side. It's a bunch of different ways to run it. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I think. Do you think Ime will ever get the better of Steve Kerr, or do you think Steve Kerr is just going to outcoach Ime every time? Because as long as Kerr and Curry are on the West, and we have to go through them. See, me and King had this back and forth last time. Me and King had this little spit spat about who was going to be our um biggest challengers, who was going to be our biggest challengers, and our I said that Golden State Warriors is one of our biggest challenges, just because of the people on the team. Golden State Warrior and the Lakers was two of our biggest challenges, and he said, King, man, King be tripping, talking about L.A. Clippers. I can't believe this dude, man. This dude gonna tell me that the L.A. Clippers is more dangerous than the Golden State Warriors. You mean to tell me the Clippers? You got two hammies, two knees, and Zubox. That's it. That's it. James Harden gonna have a hamstring injury. Chris Paul gonna have a hamstring injury. Kawhi Leonard don't got no knees. Bradley Beal don't got no knees. And then you got Zubox. That's it. That's it. That's it. So you just gonna have a team full of people rubbing on Tiger Bomb, just rubbing on Tiger Bomb, and then trying to go out and win games. Everybody smelling like Tiger Bomb of Zarbine Jr. on the court. Nah, bro, you're not finna win. Your whole team smell like Zarbine Jr., bro. You're not finna win like that. I'm not. I'm not betting on that. Excuse me. But no. But Steph Curry said he plan on playing for another couple of years, 2 years. I am very concerned about Ime and I think we're gonna be a fourth seed. Yeah, Kerr gonna outcoach him every time. I think Kerr gonna outcoach him every time until he gonna outcoach him. He gonna not coach him if he don't get no offensive coach. You know, which it ain't that I think he can't coach offensively. I just think he need to relinquish that. He needs to say, "Hey, I trust somebody more than I trust me to make in-game adjustments." But the funny thing is the thing about offense is you practice your offense, and if you know how Greg Popovich was, it's like a military. You take this number of steps, you do this at this time, the ball is in the air at this time, boom, boom, boom. You keep doing it, you keep doing it, and eventually it works out when you got the players who can do it right. You know, um, so offense is like that, and defense is kind of like that too. But Steve Kerr know how to make the adjustments. He may know how to make the adjustments on defense. Um, I just don't know if it's any leeway, if it's any room margin for error as it pertains to coaching against Steve Kerr. I don't think there's no margin of error. You think we're gonna be a fourth seed? Anybody in the chat, put what seed, put where you think we're gonna put where you think we're gonna be at. Put where you think we're gonna land at the end of the year. You think we're gonna be a fourth seed? You think we're gonna be second seed? You think we're gonna be top one or two? That first seed, would be nice because that gets you out of the way in the playoff, gets you out of the way from having to travel. Give you that home court advantage. What you really need, you don't want to have to travel. You definitely don't want to be stuck battling that. You know, if you stuck battling them 6, 5, 6, 7 seeds and stuff like that. Them hungry teams that can be right there, Golden State, Houston, Minnesota, any of those teams could be stuck right there, and you end up having to battle those teams early. You know, you need to be high as you can get. You need to be one or two. You need to be one or two because if you stuck in the 4, 5, really, if you stuck at 4, 5, and 6, and you battling one of those teams, if you battling anywhere from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, battling 4, 5, 6, and 7, you're not safe, buddy. You're not safe because you're gonna end up battling against Luca. You're gonna end up battling against Steph. You're gonna end up battling against Ant Man. And don't nobody want to fuck with your Mario. Nobody want to mess with your Mario. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It ain't no way. It ain't no way. Like, and then the West is gonna be a absolute mosh pit, bro. The West is gonna be an absolute mosh pit. Like, think about it. You got Luca LeBron, you got Nikola Jokic, you got geriatric super team, you got um Ja Morant. You still got Ja Morant if he come back healthy. You still got Anthony Ant Man Edwards, the new baby Jordan, Jordan from a 3-point Steph Jordan, and I mean, come on, Brody, come on, Brody, just cut us a break. Pelicans could be there again. Could Pelicans be back? Sacramento, you think Sacramento could be in there? You still got San Antonio. Who's to know if Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox just go crazy? Because you know De'Aaron Fox is, I mean, defensively, you know, like who's a better defensive point guard than De'Aaron Fox? Who's a better clutch point guard than De'Aaron Fox? And then you pairing him with rookies, the Stephon Castle and whoever else they got over there, Dylan Harper Jr. and um, I mean, just you know, crown them champions already, and you still got Oklahoma City. Like, I mean, if you think about Oklahoma City, Denver, Lakers, Golden State, San Antonio, Clippers. Memphis, Minnesota, Rockets. There is not one single team in there that don't have somebody that scared the shit out of you. There's not one team that would not scare you. You see what I'm saying? Like every single team, you're gonna be scared of somebody. You're gonna be scared of somebody. You're gonna be scared. You go against Memphis, John Morant can still hit you for 70. He still can hit you for 60. He still can go crazy and just he still can go crazy and just really cause. Man, is that my do I got a little buzz going on right there? Well, put a one if I say if my phone if my mic buzz and put a two if it's I mean put a two if it's buzz and put a one if it's clear. Okay. Um I mean any one of those teams can scare you. If you get caught up and then you get caught up and then you stuck trying to play against Luca and LeBron, that can scare you with D'Anthony with I'm clear, okay, cool. That can scare you with DeAndre Ayton. That can scare you with DeAndre Ayton. Um, you know, if you get caught and you playing against Ant Man, that can scare you because he play on both sides of the ball. And he can he's gonna come back with a vengeance. He's going to come back with a vengeance this year, bro. And if he, like they said, if he caters to that mid range game a little bit more, and they start calling more fouls for him, and they really want to make him into the new face of the league, that means they're gonna start calling fouls for him. And guess what that means? He's gonna be untouchable. And he's gonna be untouchable, but he still can fly and jump all over your head and monkey dunk all on you. It's just gonna be crazy down the stretch, bro. Every team is gonna be scary. Every team is gonna be scary. You got the light skinned man and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. Who else are they gonna get? Who else? Who else are they gonna get? Who signed Brooke Lopez this year? Was it who signed Brooke Lopez? Was it Denver? Denver signed Brooke Lopez or was it Golden State? Somebody signed Brooke Lopez. That's another a 3-point shooter, a 7-foot 3-point shooter. You see what I'm saying? Every team is scary on the West. So even though we got Kevin Durant, I don't know if we I don't know if it's something there that just sets us apart. Hey, if y'all come in, as y'all come in, if you like the show, man, leave a like, thumbs up, thumbs down, you know, either way, it don't matter to me. As long as you click on the thumb button. Also, if you are in the chat and you want to come up, you want to give a take, you want to tell us if you think Ime Udoka is getting out coached by Steve Kerr, is that a problem? How you doing, Jackie Ellis? Well, what's up, Jackie Ellis? Look, this is a big thing because we were just talking about this. We were just talking about this, and a healthy Clippers team. You know, that's almost like saying, you know, I mean, I just had like 100 good ones flash through my mind. I don't even know which one to pick. But a healthy Clippers team is crazy. You got Chris Paul. He gonna have a hammy. Chris Paul is gonna have a hammy, and it's gonna be in a big game in the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's guaranteed Chris Paul is going to have a hamstring issue in the playoffs in a big game. It's guaranteed Kawhi Leonard is going to miss 40 games. It's guaranteed in a game 5 or a game 6, James Harden is going to flame out and only shoot 10 shots. You know, and we know nothing about Bradley Beal at this time. We have no idea who Bradley Beal is. Like Bradley Beal was good. I mean, Bradley Beal was a threat for 1 year. He literally was the guy for 1 year, and everybody thought he was the next coming of like D Wade or something. And he went to Phoenix. It just fell off the earth. Like so, Me, like I said, me and King had this argument, and he was saying that the Clippers are going to be one of the dangerous teams on the West. They got to show me. They got to make me a believer. I have no confidence in the Clippers right now, and they got Chris Paul. No, no. The minute they went and got Chris Paul and Bradley Beal, I was happy, so happy, because I know during the season, first of all, here's a. I'll give you this. I'll give you this, Jackie. If James Harden plays shooting guard, that he lets Chris Paul run the offense. Well, we know that's not going to happen because they already said that Chris Paul is going to be coming off the bench. And so they said they're bringing in Chris Paul to be a backup point guard. Backing up who? James Harden? So you mean that Chris Paul is a backup point guard, but when James Harden isn't the point guard? So what you're telling me is that when Chris Paul is running the point guard, that James Harden is where? On the bench? And they're playing Bradley Beal and Chris Paul together? Where's the defense? Where's the defense? I mean, not that James Harden is a defender by any means, you know, by any standard, any stretch of the imagination. But as far as we know, at least he will be 250 pounds in there, and you're not just gonna bully him and get by him just because he play Ole defense. You got to go through him. You got to go around him. You got to make him stop walking or something, and he's going to be a factor as far as um post up. You can't just post up James Harden. Well, you got Chris Paul. Chris Paul will play defense, but you know he older. He's not the young Chris Paul. He's crafty with his defense. He's still a little quick, but if he moves too fast, he will pull a hamstring. That's just the fact. That's just the fact. I'm not really scared of the Clippers in the playoffs because of James Harden's on the team. I just hate to say it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know somebody say that James Harden is the second best Houston Rocket of all time. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if he's a clear cut choice for the second best Houston Rocket of all time. But people say that James Harden is the second best Houston Rocket of all time. But we know one thing we know about James Harden for a fact is he's going to have a game in the playoff where he needs to score and he does not. There is at least one game out of every playoff where James Harden turns into Jalen Green. You see, and that's good. That's the problem. That's the problem with James Harden. That's the problem with the Clippers. That's why Kawhi Leonard made the biggest mistake of his life going to LA. And if I was Kawhi Leonard and I went to LA and I saw James Harden coming to LA, I would have told them, if you get James Harden, I'm moving back to Toronto. I'm gonna call Drake personally and hotline bling Drake, and I'm going back to Toronto. I'm not playing on the team with James Harden until he shows that he can score throughout the whole playoffs. And I think he should have asterisks all by his name. James Harden should have asterisks all by his name until he shows that he can score throughout the whole playoffs. And he doesn't have a game where he refuses to shoot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved the beard while he was here. I loved the beard while he was here. I loved every minute of it, you know. And I was almost on the second best shooting guard of all time train. I was almost there. I was almost there. He could have got me there. But, you know, it's just the stuff that he did after he left Houston because he had too many opportunities. James Harden had too many opportunities to win a championship and go be great when he left Houston. I'm sorry. When you're on a team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and you still don't win a championship or even, get to the finals, then you go play with Joel Embiid and then you still don't win a championship and you still have flame out games. Like, come on, Brody. Come on, Brody. You making Houston look bad, bro. Then you saying Houston is your home. Nah, that's not Houston type stuff you're doing, bro. You can't be on a team with one of the best big men in the best big man in the league and probably one of the better skilled big men that we've ever seen, and you have a hard time. You just have a hard time getting over the hump, Brody. You have a hard time getting over the hump. But Tell me what y'all think. Is who is our biggest threat? Not the biggest threat to the OKC Thunder. I think we the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't think Oklahoma City Thunder's team is better than our team. Who is the biggest threat to the Houston Rockets other than OKC? I mean, is it the Clippers? Is it Denver? Is it the light skinned man? Is it Steph Curry? Is it Luca? Is it Luca and LeBron? Is it Ime Udoka? Is the biggest threat to the Houston Rockets internal? Is it an inside job? Is it an inside job? Might be, man. It might be. It really might be. I mean, okay, let's do this. Who's the biggest threat to the Houston Rockets? Who's the Ime Udoka? You say Ime Udoka is the biggest threat to the Houston Rockets. I am going to. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you about a 7 or 8 on that, bro. I'm gonna give you about an 8 out of 10 on that answer. The reason why is because damn it. Reason why is because that's a good answer. That's a very good answer. Not only is it a good answer, I think if we if something comes in our if something gets in our way this year, there's a 75. I mean, I give it about a 30, 35, 40% chance that it's a lack of offense, a lack of offense creativity. And when I say that, it goes back to what we was talking about earlier. Like our starting lineup would average around 90 points a game. Between 88 and 90, 92 points a game, our starting lineup is gonna score that much. When we need for our bench to score points, how much help is Ime giving them in scoring those points? Or is he just saying, hey, we need to go out and get stops so we can score? We need to go out. I'm gonna dial up something to get us stops on the defensive end so we can get up and down the court and go score. Is that your offensive strategy? Is that your whole offensive strategy for the bench brigade? We gonna put Tar Eason out there and you know let Tar Eason and Finney Smith defense lead to offense? That hope Armin Thompson, Tari, and Dorian Finney Smith can you know just get us buckets on defensive strategy on defensive prowess. That's going to open up the run the transition game so we can score. Is that the plan for is that your offensive plan? So Ime being a problem for us offensively, I mean overall, it could be a threat to our success. Yes, I mean not more than Kevin Durant being hurt. Like I don't want to keep jinxing. I don't want to keep saying, it, but I just feel like it's you gotta put that out there. You know what I mean? You just gotta put it out there as as a disclaimer. Like nothing I'm saying is written in stone. It's all contingent upon health. It's all contingent upon health. I said earlier, this could almost be like a tank year for us because any which way Kevin Durant gets hurt and Fred VanVleet gets hurt at the same time this year, those games are lost. Those games are lost. I'm sorry. I mean, I know people want to run me off the air when I say stuff like that, but it's just a fact. If Kevin Durant gets hurt and Fred VanVleet gets hurt at the same time this year, those are all losses, Brody. Those are all losses because you can't suspect Armin to run the point guard. You can't suspect Reed Shepard to run the point guard. Not over the stretch of a whole game and be successful. And we would have nobody who can make up for Kevin Durant scoring. We have no Cam. We have no Jalen. And how much we love Armin, I don't see Armin averaging 30 points over the stretch of no period. I don't see Armin averaging 30 points over the stretch of any period this year. I don't see Thompson averaging 30 points if Kevin Durant and Fred VanVleet goes out. I just don't see it happen. So if there's a stretch where both guys are hurt at the same time, then none of this counts. I mean, none of this glazing I'm doing about the Houston Rockets being the clear cut best, the best option for a champion this year. No, none of this, none of this counts. It's all just me talking. I'm just running my mouth because if Kevin Durant gets hurt, Fred VanVleet get hurt at the same time, none of this would matter. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, Buckmo. Let's do this, Buckmo. Who is who is the bigger problem? Who has the ability to swing the ties more out of Ime and Reed Shepard? Which one can improve their job? Which one of these two guys, if they do their job the best, will make the biggest impact? Ime or Reed Shepard? That's the question for you, Buck. Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat can answer this question. If Ime does his job better, if Reed Shepard does his job better, which one can make the biggest impact? That's one shot. One shot for Reed Shepard. Whereas Buck says if Reed Shepard does his job better, he can make the biggest impact. And he can make it easier on Ime. If Reed Shepard does his job well, he can make Ime's job easier. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Also because Ime is so good at what he does that we were a number 2 seed last year because of what Ime does. If Ime does his job one notch better, it don't even have to be a big impact. It could just be a little click of an impact, and we can get to the championship with that. But if Reed takes a jump, if Reed takes a jump, a marginable progression, then we can really, it can really blow the doors off the league. It's just something that, but here's my pushback to you, Buck. Here's my pushback. If Ime does his job better, he can make Reed better. And then Reed can make Ime's job easier if Ime makes Reed better. If Ime dials up the things that can really get Reed Shepard into some good actions to where he can get some clear open shots without having to, really fight for his own shots or whatever. We see he can't really create no space. But if hey Reed, you know what? You running around all game like Steph Curry. You're only gonna be in the game 15, 20 minutes. You're gonna get in the game and run like a damn fool for 15 minutes, bro. This is what I'm looking at. If if I'm Ime Udoka, I'll call Reed Shepard in my office right after summer league, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, buddy, that shit you just did out there, it'll get you traded. It'll get you traded. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make your life easier for you. You don't have to worry about trying to create space because I see you having a problem creating space. You don't have to worry about being the greatest passer or the greatest ball handler at the point guard position. I don't see you as a John Stockton or Steve Nash or Jason Williams or Mark Price. You're more in the line in the vein of a Matt Maloney. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep you from suffering the same fate as Matt Maloney, who got waived, who got paid and waived. Actually, he got hurt. And the Rockets had guaranteed money on the books for like 6 years paying Matt Maloney. But that's a different story. This is what I'm telling you. Hey, look, these plays, when you come on the court, you don't even worry about what the first team playbook is. If at any given time you're on the court, we got a whole different playbook just for you. It's called Run Around Like a Damn Fool Playbook. It's, it's called, it's called
Don't be alarmed, Renee.
You are going to run around nonstop while you're on the court. Guess what? You, Steph Curry. You are the Steph Curry of this team. I don't want you, for no apparent reason, to have to dribble the ball more than 2 or 3 seconds. I want you to get the ball when you get it, pass it to that man you're supposed to pass it to, run straight down the middle of the lane, see if you get open right there. If you don't, you pop out to the wing. You don't get open right there, pop back out to the 3-point line, see if you get a shot right there. If not, you just keep running. You just keep running because your ass gonna be back on the bench in a little while anyway. Don't worry about if you're tired. Don't worry. If you pass out, we'll get somebody to come pick you up. We'll get somebody to come pick you up. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You just keep on running, bro. You just keep on running. And nothing ain't gonna happen to you. That's my Reed Shepherd offense. You just run around. You just run around nonstop until you get open. And once you get open, you shoot the three. If you don't shoot the three, you come into the bench. So just run. Just run. Because if you don't shoot, you come into the bench. If you don't shoot the ball, you come into the bench. If you pass out, you'll be sitting on the bench. So don't worry about if you're tired or not. Reed Shepherd should be playing with the Tari Eason mindset. Reed Shepherd should be playing with the Tari Eason mindset. I'm just gonna go 130 miles per hour, full energy the whole time I'm on the court. Because that might be the only time you get on the court, bro. Just run hard as you can for like 12 straight minutes, nonstop. That's it. See, some players can play like that. Let me tell you, Buck. I tell you this. You know what makes LP so good? LP is one of those guys that the the more he's scared to mess up, the less he messes up. It's simple. It's simple. That's what makes you good. What makes you good is I want to be good. I'm gonna be good. I don't want to mess up. I want to be great. And the more my coach gets on my ass about me being great, the better I'm gonna be. Some people are just the opposite. I don't want to mess up, so I mess up. Your mama say, "Don't drop that glass." Crack, drop the glass. The minute she say it. The minute she say don't drop the plate, you drop the plate. See? Yeah, Alfred, the European players do come in with more professional mindset, but I don't think. Let me say this. You know, when we grew up, the way we grew up playing basketball. We didn't grow up doing training, and it's a lot of talk about this going around. Like they spend too much time training to play basketball. We woke up, get a ball, go to the park, start playing. If it was one on one full court, 21. It didn't matter what it was. We was first people go to the get back to the court in the morning. You just go up there and you start playing. It wasn't no let's go up here and train. Let's go do 100 right hand, 100 behind the back, cross between the leg. It wasn't no none of that. It was just go up here. This dude is better than you. You're gonna keep trying to beat him. You probably gonna keep losing, but you're gonna be competitive. So what happens is these guys, they good basketball players. They go into practice. They go into the game. They're not training. They're not training. They playing basketball. So they playing basketball from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They playing basketball professionally from the time they get 15, 16 years old. They playing professional basketball and practicing professional basketball. They're not doing drills. They're not doing no 1, 2, 3 dribble drills and all that stuff. They playing professional basketball against professional people trying to bust their ass. That's what they doing. And so they come in the game, they got a, I don't want to get my ass bust mentality. But I'm coming to bust yours. Just like we had when we was growing up playing basketball. And that's what the Europeans are doing. They out there trying to bust tails. They not out there trying to can I get to my counter move? Counter move? Counter? You have to have a counter move now to play basketball? What do you mean a counter move? Do you mean if a dude stop me, I do something else? That's where do we come up with these terms, bro? Where do we come up with these terms? Oh, he got to have the dribble hezzy, and then if you stop the dribble hezzy, I got to go to my counter move. What? What? No. What I'm finna do, I'm finna cross you over. Cross you over. If you there, guess what? I'm finna go back and cross you over again and try to go to the goal. If you stop me, I'm gonna pass the ball or shoot it in your face. It ain't that difficult. It ain't that difficult. I'm gonna jump with the ball. I got the ball. I jump. You jump. I got to put the ball around your hand. It ain't that difficult, bro. All this counter move. Oh, practice this counter. Boom, boom, boom. If you practice it enough, now when it comes time to do it, it's second nature. No, it's not because you're thinking about it too much. But if you go out there and play basketball, everything is a counter move. Everything you do is a counter move. Your second dribble is a counter move to your first dribble because your first dribble was meant to let you go to where you were trying to go to. Or I want to get the shot off. I dribbled the ball. That was a counter to me shooting the ball. I didn't want to dribble. I wanted to shoot the ball. But you closed out. I countered by dribbling. That's, I mean, yeah, the Euros coming in more. So that was just a little rant. The Euros are coming in more seasoned and more professional because the way that we grew up playing basketball was not about all this technical training and stuff like that. That's stuff you do on your own time. That's stuff you do on your own time. You get your ball, you walk into the store, you get your ball, you dribbling your ball down the court, you crossing over people that's not there. You sitting at home, you outside, you just outside dribbling the ball, ain't nobody around you. So I'm out here practicing. I got my bike tire, it's nailed to the tree. I'm dribbling in the dirt. Ain't no concrete. I'm dribbling in the grass. So now when I get on the concrete, hey, I'm snappy with mine. That's why we got better. That's why NBA players used to be good because they played ball and they play ball in whatever conditions. But now we so busy trying to technical, all this technical stuff. So when these Europeans players come over here like Alper Shangoon, guess what they doing? They doing what they know how to do naturally, which is bust your ass. Not no hezzy dribble pull up. I'm busting your ass. That's what I'm doing. I'm and I'm going to the goal. People be looking at Alper Shangoon and they be like, you know, why, it, you know, why is he missing this hook shot? He ain't worried about missing no hook shot. He ain't worried about he know he gonna make that sooner or later when he need to. He gonna make it when he need to. Do he practice it? I'm sure he do practice it. I'm pretty sure he do practice it. But do you think he rather be busting somebody's tail in 5-on-5, or do you think he rather be sitting there shooting hook shots for 3 hours straight? When Alpert Şengün is in the gym, do you think he's shooting the ball, playing one on one, practicing against other people, or do you think he practicing dribbling? I'm gonna dribble one time this way. I'm gonna shift my hips this way, and then I'm gonna put my elbow like this, and I'm gonna bring it back like this. Do you think that's what Alpert Şengün is doing? Do you think Luka ever does that? Do you think Luka Doncic ever says one dribble, two dribble, put the ball right here, twist my hips like this, grab your wrist like this, and practice pulling your wrist? Look, you got to learn how to pull somebody's wrist when they standing right here. Pull their wrist like this. Do you think Luka is practicing that? And the people who was doing it in the old days, that's not a basketball play, bro. That's a trick that somebody taught that players learn how to do from trying to get better. That's not nothing that was supposed to be being taught. That's something that old school dudes did to beat their man, and they passed it on. They passed on these little tricks. That's like, I'm gonna tell you what it's like. It's like if we was all in the gym and the referee starts saying, "Hey, when the man posts you up, put your elbow right here in the spleen of his back. Now put your knee in his thigh and put your foot on the inside of his foot so he can't move. Now put your elbow, push your elbow down in his back so he have to stand up a little bit straighter." That's how you play defense. That's not that's that's not how you teach basketball, bro. But that's what we doing. We doing all this little technical stuff that ain't really about winning playing basketball. And they forgetting how to play basketball because they overthinking what's important to do. They overthinking what's the important stuff, which is get the ball, go over there, shoot it, make the shot. Play defense, stay in front of the man. Put a hand down, put a hand up. Put a hand down, put a hand up. When the ball go to this side, put that hand down, put this hand up. When the ball go to this side, put this hand down, put that hand up. Stay low, stay between your man and the basket. Do that a bunch of times. Do it a bunch of times. That's it. That's it. All the other stuff don't matter. And that's why Luca is that's why LP, you know, that's why LP came in more seasoned than Jalen. And that's why they're gonna continue to be better until players start back playing basketball for real. Now, why is that important? The reason why all this is important is because LP is gonna be, to me, he's gonna be the best person on this team when Kevin Durant leaves, probably for years and years to come. Reed Shepard, Buck say Reed Shepard not gonna be on the team. Buck think Reed Shepard's gonna get traded. I don't believe Reed Shepard's gonna get traded. If he does, he's gonna be valuable somewhere else. But I think to this season, the key to this season is gonna be, can Alper Shangoon get back to his old ways of playing basketball? Which I'm glad you brought this up because the old Alper Shangoon was a lot more creative than this past year. And maybe he was a little scared to mess up. Maybe that's why his shooting percentage was low this year around the rim. Maybe he was playing nervous. You get the clenching up the pockets. You know what I mean? Till your cheeks get tight. You know what I mean? You can squeeze a lemon with your butt cheeks, and you start get tensed up, and you start missing shots around the rim. Maybe that's what happened to LP this year. But if you go back and look at early LP, rookie LP, second year LP, that boy was a different animal. You talking about crossing over guys at the half court, putting the ball on the floor, dribble, spin moves, just giving guys work with the crossover. And that's why I call him Big Ginobili. That's why I call LP Big Ginobili. I call LP Big Ginobili because he was literally giving guys work um, on the perimeter like a guard, like a big 6'10", 6'11" guard. So I don't think I'm I'm not I'm not afraid that we won't live up to what we're supposed to live up to. I think we will. I think we will. If I had to pick, first of all, I think Chet Holmgren. I don't think Chet's going to be healthy this year again. Chet is going to be hurt this year again, and Chet being hurt is going to cause Oklahoma City to not be um is going to cause Oklahoma City to not be a number one seed. I don't think. I think the number one seed is going to be somebody weird. I don't think it's going to be us either though. But I think it's going to be somebody weird. It's always a team that comes out of nowhere that just goes to number one. Like, mm, mm, could be Denver, could be Denver, could be San Antonio. I don't think San Antonio ready yet, but they could, they could. But I think could be the Lakers. The Lakers could legitimately be the number one seed in the league this year. I wouldn't be surprised. The reason why I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers was the number one seed is because Luca, LeBron, Aiden, Dr. Connect is not a bad team. Austin Reeves, right? And they played good down the stretch of last year. So down the stretch of last year, after they got Luca, they played good ball. They just didn't have depth that would help them win in the playoffs. But through the season, down the stretch of the season, to start off the season, they was a great team. Then they had a little lapse, and then the end of the season, they was a great team. So the Lakers could end up being a number one seed this year. I don't think we're going to be a number one seed. Um, Bucks said fourth seed. I'm gonna say third. I'm gonna say third. I'm gonna say we'll be third seed. I don't think we're gonna drop to fourth. And if we're third seed, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with being a third seed this year. Um, hmm, yeah, I'm cool with being a third seed. But I do think the acquisitions of Isaiah Crawford and J.D. Davison just shows that Rafael Stone is in his bag, and that I don't think it's going to be a time where he's not making moves from now until you know. I think he's going to be consistently doing something. He might stop doing stuff at a point, but he's going to constantly be figuring out what his next move is. And I know this is a long ways away, but I'm almost excited to see what he's going to pull off by the trade deadline. I know that's a long ways away, but this guy could be up to anything right now. Like even, signing players now. I believe Rafael Stone sign players now to make money moves that he can figure out. How he's gonna move the money around for the you know for when it's time to get into the trade deadline. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at. Um, I'm going to probably be back on. Well, first of all, if we get any more news, you know, I'm gonna hop back on and let y'all know. We do have a debate set. Uh, we haven't made it official set, but me and King supposed to be debating on the first on Friday. That's the is James Harden the clear cut choice for second best all time Rockets debate. Y'all might want to tune in and check that out. It's gonna be fire. I guarantee you, I'm going to bring the fire, bro. Um, we know how King get down. You know what I'm saying? You know how King get down. So it's gonna be a fire debate. Um, if he's still up for it. I haven't heard from him, but I'm pretty sure I'll hear from him sometime this week, and we'll go ahead and get that on the dotted line and get that up and running. The way like I said before, we are gonna have gifts. We're gonna have some gifts for the winners. Um, I haven't figured out if it's gonna be, one big gift at the end for the number one overall winner, or it's gonna be, you know, gifts for everybody who win the debate. But I do have something dope. So I have something really dope, as far as lined up for gifts for these debates, and it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be some good gifts, and it's gonna be some good topics. It's gonna be some good topics. Somebody hit me up earlier today, um, about, I think it was about one. I think they wanted to debate something about the Kevin Johnson dunk on Elijah one. So I'm gonna see what that's about. You know, exactly what is it that they want to debate about that. But I think that's definitely something good to talk about. One of the most iconic Houston Rockets memories of all time. I mean, I guess it's not a good memory for us, but it definitely happened. It's definitely something that we all remember. So, um, excuse me. Everybody who showed up today, man. Shout out to Global Dialysis. Shout out to Jackie Ellis. Shout out to EF, that's me. And shout out to my boy Buck Mo, man. Appreciate you stopping back by with me, man. We're gonna keep it popping. You know, it's been a good conversation, good topic. We are going to keep a close eye on what the Rockets doing. And I'm with you. We're gonna have to follow Ime closely and see, you know, because I wonder if Kevin Durant's just gonna be a band-aid for his offense. Like, is it just bringing Kevin Durant and make it look like, or bringing Kevin Durant so we can't see that my offense ain't what it is. You know what I mean? Bringing Kevin Durant and then the offense look better, and then you can say, well, he may got a good offense, but when Kevin Durant ain't on the floor, is the offense ass? So you know we're gonna watch and see things like that. Like, is Ime doing anything to help these other guys who don't have? We saw, us get to the second seed last year with Ime's offense. So a lot of that was predicated on defense, and we're gonna keep a close eye on that. But again, Rafael Stone, hats off to the Rafael Stone. He made me a believer today. He made me a believer today. Not because these two guys are gonna make an impact on the team, um, or that I even plan on seeing them in a Rockets jersey, but just the shock of him still make two more moves, you know, after everything he's done to get these two guys on two-way deals, um, just beneath the radar signings. It's like he not sleeping. Rafael Stone not sleeping. You can't sleep on Rafael Stone. So with that being said, we getting ready to get up out of here, you know, and you don't want to miss any of this good content going forward. You don't want to miss any of the debates, and you don't want to miss nothing that we got to say over here, man. Um, Everybody in the chat, man, keeping it real. We got some of the livest chat members. I think so far, man. The Global Book King. I forgot Money that was here from Golden State the other day, man. I got to go back and look at his name, but old Money was going off too. We done had some live chats over here, man, and you don't want to miss none of this. You have been warned to stay on red alert. So tap in, turn on, stay lit. This is Rockets Red Alert signing off. I'm your boy E.F. Hutton. Peace. Appreciate y'all coming.